Hello fans, and welcome to another video from myself, Retro Martin. Today we're going to be looking at a MegaDrive game that I was unaware of until recently, mostly by account of it only releasing for the Genesis in the US and Canada and not in Japan or PAL regions. This is Scooby Doo Mystery for the Genesis. All footage here was recorded on actual hardware using a MegaDrive 2 console, as I had all the wires set up and couldn't be bothered to get my Mark 1 out. Adding to a very lean genre on the system, Scooby Doo Mystery is a point-and-click game, which I believe only has one other genre entry with Cosmic Spacehead on the system. Fans of Escape from Monkey Island, which came later, that's the fourth one, will be right at home with it being a point-and-click whereby you move the character using the direction controls rather than clicking. However, in this game, a tap of A or B will turn on the cursor, which allows you to select objects and environments. Move to the verb selections at the bottom, and the C button moves to your inventory. It can get quite confusing and the controls are the big downside for the game. Despite having a mouse peripheral, there is no support for it, and you'll find that the buttons don't always activate the verbs properly, and you'll make a few mistakes before you finally carry out the action you intended to. A minor gripe, but an important one, as it will add time onto your playthrough. Scooby Doo Mystery is made up of two games which act like individual episodes. For those who know Scooby Doo, you're cool with the premise and in-gags already. For everybody else, Scooby Doo was an animated show following four friends and their dog, the titular Scooby Doo, who solved mysteries. Usually after a happenstance trip to some quite normal place has some odd goings on. It was aimed at kids, so had a lot of slapstick humour, with Shaggy and Scooby tending to accidentally do the right thing despite both being cowards, and nearly every episode had a running door gag where the gang would be running away from the monster of the week through doors, usually chasing the wrong way round, coming out of a different door entirely, or realising part way and moving round. For fans of the show, I'm happy to tell you that this game includes a lot of the common gags, even if only once, so you will be delighted to see them, and even some of the characteristic phrases like zoinks and jinkies make an appearance. So back to the game itself. We have two episodes which make up roughly an hour of game each. Although this will take way more than an hour your first time through, as you'll be working things out and backtracking a lot. The first one is Blake's Hotel. The gang visit Uncle Blake to go stay at his hotel and find a native Indian war chief ghost has terrorised all the guests and most of the staff into leaving. Fred, Daphne and Velma go off to explore, while Shaggy and Scooby go off to find food, and after being introduced to the lobby of the hotel by Blake, he walks off and you are left in control of Shaggy. The bottom of the screen has several verb actions such as push, open, talk to and eat, and all of them will be used at one point or another, even if only once. Selecting one of these verbs with the cursor and then clicking on an object will do the requisite action. Some objects already have a highlighted verb that will go brown, and a click of the B button will automatically carry out that action. Some of these will be the actual action you needed to carry out, but most will involve just opening doors or looking at the object for more information. Any text from Shaggy or other characters will be displayed at the top of the screen. Otherwise, you're left to walk around, talk to characters, explore and find out what to do all on your own. Some of the puzzles are quite abstract, such as getting a bed spring that you can take outside and use to bounce on to grab some Christmas lights. However, this is par for the course for games like these. The second one is Haha Carnival, whereby the gang attend the carnival, which yet again has a killer clown on the loose, with Fred taking the girls off to go boating, as you do, leaving you controlling Shaggy with Scooby in tow. This particular mystery had a few more mini-games, such as a crane game and bumper cars where you had to damage the clown's bumper car before he could deplete your damage meter. The animators also expended a lot of effort, with some lovely rotation effects on some objects, disguised as digital self-sprite rotation. This particular mystery also involved a bit of timing on a couple of puzzles, which would be a barrier to some, especially with the awkward controls in the carnival itself being a bit of a maze, and it's very unclear how to get into some rooms, specifically from a weird spinning floor disc room. Both mysteries are good fun, but don't have incredibly large areas and very few people to talk to, but are bright and colourful with some funky music bopping along, albeit may get quite repetitive when you're in one area for such a length of time. The art style will remind people of Day of the Tentacle in the way it looks, and as with every point and click, there's plenty of humour, and the devs also threw in a few small voice clips to add to the action. I'd say this is quite a good entry-level point-and-click for new players, and helps bolster a very minimal section of the MegaDrive library. Very enjoyable games all round. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at Scooby Doo Mystery, and I'll see you for the next video, but I will leave you with a bit more gameplay footage from both episodes. Enjoy.